headed up to Pensacola for our grandbaby's gender reveal party and my daughter-in-law's birthday.
Good morning. We're on our way to Pensacola. We're gonna pass a couple wildlife management areas. So we'll see what we see. Well, we stopped for gas at Sunoco. We've gone 158 miles and we are right on the edge of the Ochlockonee River. Way down upon the Ochlockonee River. And we're gonna be going through Mayo and Perry, down 98. It's a little bit slower ride. Right now we're on 27. We're just heading the long way and the slow way to Pensacola. Thanks for riding. This ought to be an interesting trip. We're gonna hit some of the wildlife management areas along the way, including Tates Hell, which is on the southern part of Apalachicola. So thanks for riding. Enjoy the ride. Have a great day. Florida Jeep rides. We're going up in the Panhandle. Oh, wait till Friday. We're going to Blackwater. See you there. The Aucilla River, down in the Panhandle of Florida. Stop number 1, Big Bend Wildlife Management Area, part of St. Mark's Wildlife Refuge, part of that. Big Bend Wildlife Management Area, off Highway 98. Slider. You know you gotta be kind of close when you see a bit of that crap.
Well, this is our first encounter. We're at Big Bend Wildlife Management Area. Aucilla. Mastodon teeth, bison horns, below the black waters. And right over there is the Gulf of Mexico. Aucilla. Another part of the Aucilla River. And there is a rope swing. That makes me want to go swimming. Aucilla River, up in the Panhandle. That's Tallahassee.
Aucilla River.
Gulf of Mexico. Well, we're going down 98 and we are heading over to a place called Tates Hell State Forest. There's a legend behind that, which I'll narrate in as we go. But this is a place that you could explore for days on end and you will not find everything. There is so much land out here. It literally runs from south of Tallahassee all the way to St. George Island, almost into Pensacola area, all the way back to St. Mark's. It's this whole upper Panhandle area, which is part of the Apalachicola Forest. So join us today as on our way to Pensacola, we stop at Tates Hell. Look at that belly. Look at that beautiful belly. That's a fence swift. It is
Oh, wow.
pine flatwoods. The males have these beautiful blue bellies on there. It's a gorgeous lizard.
He's coming around your shoulder here.
Welcome to Florida Jeep Rides. Hey, we're going into Tates Hell State Forest. You want to come along? It's off Highway 98, off the Gulf of Mexico, across from St. George Island. When I was a kid, used to come out here and hunt snakes. We caught a lot of snakes out here. Even on St. George Island, we used to come out here and catch snakes. Now, Randy said, why don't we drive through Tallahassee? I proposed that there was a slight issue with going through Tallahassee, particularly going to my old neighborhood and some of my old snake catching places, specifically because of this is not an FSU Jeep, and I'm not taking it to Tallahassee. So we're on our way to Pensacola. Enjoy the ride. Here we go, into Tates Hell. Okay, so we're venturing into Tates Hell. Small maintained roads. We're on our own, so I'm definitely gonna play it safe. I am recording this on the Gaia, so you'll be able to see exactly where we went. It is a small, short ride. There are fence swifts and 6-line race runners running all over this road. If I stayed and I went straight on this road at a nice slow pace, it would probably take me 2 days to get to Tallahassee if I didn't get lost in the process, because there are so many turns on these roads that it is very easy to get lost, and there's little to no signal. So if you're venturing out into Tates Hell and you can have somebody come with you, it's even better. If you have some type of a satellite phone, it's awesome. But if not, hopefully you'll be able to track your turns or have a good sense of where you're going. That was a little sketchier trail. I'm kind of going to stay on the main road. But as you can see, I'm already hitting choices. Do I go left? Do I go right? Do I turn? Again, I'm choosing the main road. Passing lots and lots of smaller trails. You could get turned around in here in a heartbeat. Cebe Tate spent, by legend, 7 days and 7 nights in here wandering around. He was trying to hunt a panther that had been killing his livestock, but it didn't take long before he became the one that was being hunted. After all of his shotgun shells were gone and ammo, he lost his gun in the swamp, laid down in a cypress area. He got bit by a snake, tried to get out, ran, finally got out, and that's where the story comes from of Tates Hell. This is not exactly the prettiest of areas. It looks like it's gone through a prescribed burn not too crazy long ago. Because it's all burnt. This is a pine forest, and if you look at the right angle, a lot of these pine trees, they're planted. So they plant, they harvest, they burn out all of the little scrubby stuff. Then they come out and they harvest these logs. Right now, we're on a smaller trail. I'm following something I laid out in GPS. It's a bit sandy in some places, but I'm in 4 low. Not having too much of an issue. There's definitely plenty of pine trees, and it's a bit bumpy. There's beehives out there. Interesting thing about those beehives, there's electric fence around them. Keeps the bears and stuff out from getting into them, because there are bears out here. We're gonna go up here to this other main road and turn left. And we're just basically making a big loop through here. It's recorded. It'll be a public track under Florida Jeep Rides. Something big in here, probably an alligator. Judging by the amount of swirls and everything that was in there, he was probably sitting out over there. So somewhere in there, there's an alligator. Watch where you're stepping with your sandals on. We're not wearing our boots. So if there's an alligator in there, he's hiding. He doesn't want to talk to us. it's pretty remote out here. I was on the phone with somebody and it just went dead. So we're coming around to our first turn, second turn in part of this loop. There's a lot of rocks out here. It looks like they filled up places where people were getting stuck or something. When it talks about the murky water, this is what it's referring to. You see how thick the brush is? This is murky water. It's got that tea color to it, usually from cypress trees, but there's like silty stuff all on top of it. You definitely would want to purify it somehow. And there's stinging nettles up here. So walking around in flip-flops, which is a rare thing for me, doesn't help. That's the cypress trees. You can see all of these, the difference. That's the cypress trees right there with these fine needles. That's the fine needles of the cypress tree and those little teeny pine cones. And then there's the longleaf pine, those long needles on one side. One of the things that I'm noticing is a lot of the trees that are knocked down. We're just now beginning to enter the outskirts where the hurricane through. On Mexico Beach, devastated the entire area. If you look on Google Maps, you'll find out a majority of areas have like 50% or more of their pine trees just knocked down. Perfect, nice little gator hole out here. Normally the water would probably be higher, but we're in a really dry season right now in Florida. So most of the water holes are almost dried up. There are trees as we get closer toward Pensacola, they're going to look like this. They were snapped when the hurricane came through. And if you look on Google Maps around Interstate 10 in Mariana, you can look at Google Maps and you can zoom in and see thousands and thousands of pine trees that have just been knocked down. And all right, Amanda, what kind of poop is that? Some kind of pile of poop. It's on. Next road. Much of Tates Hell is swamp. When it talks about swamp, I'm not talking about the ditches on the edge, but that's the actual swamp. It is thick with cypress trees, like a mangrove forest. There's knees from the cypress trees that you trip over all inside there. Listen to the frogs. Well, it's kind of like a castaway moment. And this is how come people can get lost in here. If I wasn't following a GPS, I have a choice. I can go that way. I can go that way. I can go that way. Or I can go that way. So what I've noticed in here is this. The north and south roads tend to be more paved like this. The east to west roads tend to be a little less maintained like that. Now it appears that this little section that we're in is like a grid. I would recommend just getting a good map. There's a couple really good trails, like from Tally down to St. George Island, going on trails like this. It would be great. Couple things, if you're by yourself, I would recommend that you have a jump starter for your car, because if you turn off your Jeep out in the middle of here and then you can't start it, you're in a world of hurt. The other thing is bring a buddy, because when I went down this road, I did find some places where there was sugar sand. So be careful, because sugar sand can catch you. There's, what's that? And we also lost phone connection. But we're getting ready to head on out, and then from here we're going to St. George Island. If we can get around the corner. And so you finished your trail. You've ridden from Tally down to the island on the trail that's on Gaia GPS, and you're heading out to 98, and this is your reward. Well, that's Tates Hell. That's just a real quick, slow portion of Tates Hell. We only brushed not even 1% of how big that place is. I wouldn't recommend coming out here alone unless you're staying on the roads. I wouldn't turn off your vehicle unless you got a jump starter. For now, we're heading to St. George Island for a quick stop.